What's up, YouTube? Scott Lett here, owner of Pro Exterior Cleaning and Let's Repair It LLC. Current situation here in Tulsa. Everything is literally frozen. Crazy. So that is why my job yesterday was postponed. My driveway is completely iced over. But the actual roads are good. They've already put sand down, so they're very drivable, but my neighborhood is probably the worst part. But anyways, guys, just wanted to show you this. I mean, this is very abnormal this time of year, apparently. I don't know, I've never lived here through a full winter. This is my first winter here in Tulsa, so this is definitely the coldest weather I've ever seen. Never saw anything like this in Alabama, so this is different. But anyways, guys, I do have a topic I want to talk about today. I just wanted to show you this real quick. I'm going to get down here where it's a little safer to record while I'm driving. I may just wait till I get to the store, but y'all stay tuned. So my wife sent me an expert level shopping list. I was in Walmart for like an hour and a half trying to get all these groceries. So apparently there's going to be a blizzard here in Tulsa Sunday and Monday, and everyone's freaking out and out getting groceries, and it was our turn to get groceries. So I mean, we dropped $1 on some food, which is understandable. But anyways, I'm dedicating this video to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is someone who watches a lot of my videos. He comments, he's very interactive. Well, he wanted me to explain to you guys, you know, what gallon per minute machine do you buy and when. And he wanted me to talk about, you know, the hot water, you know, pressure washer, you know, how that benefits you. You know, when do you need to buy that machine? You know, when you upgrade from a 4 gallon per minute, you know, do you go to a 5 gallon per minute or do you go an 8 gallon per minute? So all of this is niche based. All of this is demand based. Okay. So what I mean by that is, I never just bought a machine because I could afford it. I never just bought a machine because that's just what I wanted to do. I bought these machines as my demand grew, you know, as my demand needed that specific washer. You know, for instance, I bought my hot water pressure washer because my old business partner and I, we bought two, one for him, one for me. And it was because we landed a really big job for an Amazon building. And then right after that, we went and cleaned the largest high school in Alabama, which is Hoover High School. Y'all have probably seen them on MTV, the 2-A-Day show. Well, anyways, some call it Hoover University. It's this massive high school. Well, we cleaned every square inch of that high school. And the reason we needed hot water is because they had gum there. I mean, gum probably older than I am, just chilling there on the concrete. And their concrete hasn't been cleaned, and there is no telling how long. So we had to have hot water at that moment. But also, hot water, guys, if you're new to the industry and you're going to chill in the residential world for a while, you really don't need hot water, okay? But if you're starting to get into the commercial world, I highly recommend hot water because it opens up to more opportunity to do more specialized cleaning, like graffiti removal, oil stain removal, rust. It's just going to make the cleaning a lot easier, as well as, you know, with your chemicals. You know, your knowledge of chemicals are going to, you know, grow, and hot water just makes things a lot easier. Okay, but they're expensive. Like my 4 gallon per minute hot water pressure washer that I have now was like almost $5,000. If you get an 8 gallon per minute one, I mean, you're looking anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. So they are pricey. If I could go back knowing what I know now, I would probably buy the 8 gallon per minute, to be honest with you guys. But you know what? That wasn't in our budget at the time. So also, guys, buy what you can afford. Buy what you can just get started, you know, in this industry with, you know. And I went from a 2.5 or 2.3 gallon per minute just to get started to a 3.3 because I didn't know about the flow of water and gallons per minute. I didn't understand all that. You know, but as I grew and my knowledge grew and my demand grew, I continued to upgrade. I think I've bought a new machine every year since I've been in this industry. So buy as you grow, buy as your demand demands it, essentially. Hot water is really for you guys who are getting into commercial work like I am. So the next question would be, would you go from a 4 to a 5.5 or a 4 to an 8 gallon per minute? Okay, again, so if you guys are staying in the residential world and you're ready to make an upgrade, okay, and you're not really doing a whole lot of commercial work, or you're doing smaller commercial work, I think going from a 4 to a 5.5 makes sense, okay, because it's going to give you a little bit more of a flow rate. Your work's going to go a little bit faster. You can knock down pretty much any residential job, with a 5.5 gallon per minute machine, okay. But if you're kind of half and half, and you're starting to step in these larger commercial jobs, and you're doing a lot of flat work, which is why I made the decision to go with an 8 gallon per minute machine. That makes sense, because if you're doing large surfaces, if you're cleaning a lot of flat work, if you're doing a lot of flat work and you're doing a lot of commercial work, 8 gallon per minute machine makes sense, because you're going to be able to pay that thing off in probably one job. So that's another thing too. These commercial jobs, if you're landing these big commercial jobs, you're going to be able to pay off that machine pretty quickly. In the residential world, it takes a few jobs before you can start paying off the major equipment. So to answer you guys' questions, do you need hot water? If you're going to stay in the residential world, mostly probably not. If you're starting to do some commercial work, you probably don't need hot water. You can get away with cold water and chemicals. If you're just saying, if you're kind of doing what I did and you're like, okay, I want to focus my shift to commercial work, hot water, I feel like is key, because you are going to get more specialized cleaning. You are going to get dirtier surfaces. Commercial properties don't get cleaned as often as residential properties. And also that flow rate is a big deal. Like I said, if you're doing larger, surface cleaning areas, you need more gallons per minute. An 8 gallon per minute machine makes sense. And also, if I needed a downstream with my 8 gallon per minute machine, I can hit a long ways up. With my shooter tip and my 8 gallon per minute machine, I can hit a long ways for downstreaming. That's why I went ahead and bought a 7 gallon per minute Everflow pump. That gives me the ability to do roof washes, and if I wanted to do commercial soft washes, that Everflow pump really reaches up there and gets those surfaces, like for these schools I'm about to clean, for instance. So but yeah, guys, the biggest thing is really focus on buying and upgrading your equipment when there is a demand for it. Okay, I've seen too many guys go out there, I think I mentioned this a few times in my videos, go out there and just buy all this equipment, and there isn't really a demand for it, and it's just sitting there. Okay, if you're wanting to get into the commercial world like me, wait till you land that big commercial job, and then okay, now I'm going to go buy my 8 gallon per minute machine. That one job's going to pay it off, and then now I have that machine to do other commercial work, and the pressure's kind of off. Okay, so yeah, for you guys who have that 4 gallon per minute unit and you're doing well in the residential world, you're ready to upgrade your machine, but you're still going to stay in residential, get that 5.5 gallon per minute machine. It's going to speed up your process. For you guys in the residential world who are running the 4 gallon per minute machines, and you're ready to hop into the commercial world, and you're starting to get more demand for that, maybe get you an 8 gallon per minute hot water unit. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of how I see it. And I will say this: if you're going to get into the commercial world, I really do think you need a 12-volt system, because there's a lot of soft washing out there, like with these schools and these apartments that I'm doing. A 12-volt system, is definitely an essential component of my system, as a whole. So that's kind of how I see it, guys. But get what you can afford, okay? Like I said, I've gone from a 2.3 gallon per minute machine up to an 8. All right, I started with probably one of the worst machines out there, and now I have a really good setup. I'm very happy with my setup. I have 4 machines that are ready to rock and roll. 3 are on my truck, and 1's chilling in the garage. But if for whatever reason my machines go down, I have backups. So, and that's another important thing, guys, is make sure you have some backups. Have backups of machines, of pumps, of surface cleaners. I would make sure you are in a position to where if something goes down on a job, you're ready to rock and roll and you're ready to bounce to another machine or another tool so you can complete the job, and then you can worry about getting that fixed later. So, all right, guys, that's kind of how I see it. That's kind of how I do it. You know, you just don't want to drop all this money on something and then not use it because the demand's not there. I don't think that's very wise. All right, guys, well, give y'all one more view of Tulsa right now. A blizzard or a snowstorm's coming Sunday and Monday, but it's kind of going to slow down my content and some videos. I'm supposed to be doing that $600 residential job next week, but literally there's not going to be one day that goes above freezing, so I'm probably going to have to push it back. And if I lose the job, oh well, I'm not worried about it. I'd rather lose $600 than get out there and mess up one of my machines, you know, because everything's going to be frozen. But anyways, guys, Scott Lett, Pro Exterior Cleaning. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'm sure I will think of something to talk about. Mr. Smith, this was for you, and hopefully you make the right decision and making those upgrades. And if you need some help, shoot me a text, 205-732-2012, and that commercial cheat sheet is complete. It is solidified and ready for you guys to check it out. All right, guys, see ya.